Hi everyone, welcome to Amateur Decorating Like a Pro. I am Catherine. In today's video, I'm going to share with you some of my practical tips to keep in mind when you are selecting fabric for your upcoming upholstery projects. I'm also going to answer a viewer's question concerning covering those seat cushions just in time for the holidays. Let's go ahead and go to work. All right, guys, we are now in Forsyth Fabrics. It's located in Atlanta. It's one of my favorite fabric stores for upholstery. I absolutely love this place. I go there and I take my time shopping. I really and truly do, because I'm just amazed at the selection. And then, of course, I go 2 or 3 more stores down the road. It's just a very, very fun time for me to do these kind of things. But the main purpose for this video is to share information with you. And I want to say this: when you are considering fabric, the first thing you need to think about is, how often is this piece of furniture that you need the fabric for going to be used? And where is it going to be located? Main things that you want to consider. And the reason why is because you need to consider what we call a rub count, which is usually a minor issue if you're going to just have a decorative piece of furniture sitting in a corner that looks pretty and that you just simply want to use as an accent piece. Isn't that red beautiful? Stunning. Now, my aunt's home caught fire and no lives were lost. Thank God. She got out of the house. She's 84 years old, and I'm just so glad that she's now back into her home. But she wants to have 2 of her chairs recovered by a professional. So I'm just simply helping her to select the fabric. So they were lavender, and we're looking at this fabric right here. And as you can see, that rub count is 15,000. Now, your average rub per year is about 3,000, and her chairs are going to be in her living room, and no one sits in there unless it's a holiday and the dining room table's all pretty. And no, she's not that person that puts plastic on furniture. She just likes a pretty room. So let me tell you what the rub test is, the double rub test. Don't you just love that houndstooth right there? I love that, and I was so looking for it in navy and white. Okay, back on track, Catherine. If you're going to do the rub test when you're looking for fabric, keep in mind these numbers. This is the only thing you're gonna have to think about. 3,000 is purely for decorative pillows. That's like the fabric that you will see at Walmart. Now, this fabric is from Walmart, and it will make beautiful curtains, pillows, maybe a table runner, anything like that that you are not really concerned about people sitting on. And yeah, Walmart has beautiful fabric. So let's say you have this occasionally used dining room. You can pretty much use a lightweight fabric, and that's around the 9,000s when it comes to the double rub test. So if your dining room is only used for special events and holidays, you can get 2 1/4 to 2.5 yards of fabric that measures 54 inches wide to recover 4 to 6 seat cushions. And guys, you will be done just before the holidays. Now, I'm going to show you how to recover these cushions in just a little bit. Now, as far as vinyls and faux leathers, I prefer not to use them on my seat cushions, or even in warm climates. That's if you keep your home really toasty during the winter months, or in sunny areas. Maybe you have a lot of light that comes into a room, because in just a little while, that vinyl will start to crack. Yep, these are my dining room chairs. Expensive fabric, money wasted. Click the iCard in the top right hand corner. You'll find a playlist there that will have all of the videos that I filmed for my furniture transformation series this summer. Now, so you're going to make over a chair in your family room, a place where everyone gathers often, then yeah, go for the 9,000 to 15,000 count. And if you just have to touch it, you don't want to order it online, you don't want to get the sample swatch and then go back and order again, and if you just have to get this done ASAP, then go ahead to Joann's or Hobby Lobby. Now please, at Hobby Lobby, you can use that one-time coupon 40% off. Even though they have that 30% off up there most of the time, opt for the 40% off the fabric. I don't know why people just get the 30% off and just consider it a done deal. And I only buy fabric from Joann's when I get my email alert that says 40 or 50% off regular priced items. Yep, that's the time you want to go ahead and shop for fabric at Joann's. Another tip, go for neutral colors. And then add your throws or throw pillows for your pop of color. I purchased this fabric at Hobby Lobby. I think it was around $25 a yard, but I got the 40% off. So you've got neutral fabric and you've got inexpensive pillows from Ross, TJ Maxx, it doesn't matter, even Target, and your furniture will be beautiful. Now, based upon what I have told you, now you have a clear understanding of the type of fabric that you want. And you can always ask the sales associate for the code, the rub count, and most of them will know it. I gotta tell you, these places are my fabric runway. I just love seeing all the colors flowing like this and the textures, which brings me to my next point. You have to be careful when selecting fabrics with designs in them, especially if you've never worked with them before and you're a first-time upholsterer. You know what I mean? I hope I said the right word there. Now, my experience in sewing, making bridesmaids dresses, or making clothing period helps me a lot when it comes to upholstery because I'm a little obsessive when it comes to lining up prints. These blues are gorgeous. Oh my God, I just love this one. That would make a great throw pillow for these chairs. Now, you guys know I'm traditional with an edge. And one final caution when it comes to buying neutrals versus prints, you'll have to buy additional yardage just to get those stripes or whatever the design may be lined up. Now, here is the greatest tip of all. You want high-end fabric, expensive fabric, but it is expensive. Well, shop the clearance. In the very back of these stores, there's an entire wall with just remnants of fabric either hanging or folded. And you can find as much to 2 yards, 3 yards for little of nothing. A quarter of a yard of this beautiful fabric, $8. Gorgeous throw pillow on your neutral colored couch or chair. And that's how I get great looking pillows, covers for my simple little ottomans. It's perfect. I get that expensive look on a budget. This discontinued fabric once sold for $24.95 a yard, and now it's $9.95 a yard. The panels that you saw earlier that were just actual samples, just $5. And all of this fabric here that's hanging, it's about 1.5 to 2.5 yards for $15. That's great fabric and that's a great price. And yes, prices may vary. And like I mentioned earlier, 2.25 to 2.5 yards of fabric will cover 6 seat cushions in a dining room. Isn't that a bargain at $15? So there you are. Take a picture of your furniture, the room, the color of the wall, the rugs, and go into these places that are not familiar to you, and you will be surprised at the amount of money that you can save on gorgeous fabric. Curious and Looking has to redo her seats and her dining room chairs. She's got some staples that are difficult to remove. She's got some old dented foam that she wants to get out of the way. So let's take a look and let's see how we can maneuver through this project. Now, she did not send me a picture of her chairs, so I'm going to use my chairs to answer her question. Now, you remember these chairs. I shared with you it was difficult for me to remove all of these staples. I tried to pull them out and they would break in half. So I just took my small hammer and I tapped them down gently, not cracking the wood until the area was smooth, and moved on. Now, let's not sweat the small things, guys. Here's my suggestion. Get out as many staples as you can, without stress, of course. And if you're holding down the foam, pull that foam off. And those staples that you cannot remove, gently tap them down. They're small. They will not prohibit the new staples from going in around them. And do that and just move on. Now, can you recover seat cushions in about 15 minutes? You absolutely can. And I'm just talking about adding fabric to the top. Now, this quick makeover is for a friend who's been in the hospital for about 7 months, and she loves the blue and the white. Now, I asked her daughter to order 2 yards of fabric, which is what she did. But I kind of wished I had gotten 2 1/4. But nevertheless, this worked, and it worked out perfectly. Chair foam is around 2 inches, so I had enough to fold over and get a good stretch on the fabric. Now I'm going to need 6 same size pieces for these 6 chairs. Now I wanted to watch a movie, so I made sure that I put pins along the fold line so that I could just make 1 straight cut lengthwise. This will give me 2 long pieces. Now, leaving the pins in place, I folded the 2 pieces into thirds. Now I'm able to have my 6 pieces. I only have to cut along the fold line, making sure everything is nice and evenly folded. There's no excess fabric to waste here. And here's one final check just to make sure I got enough fabric to fold over. Looks pretty good here. I make my 2 cuts along the fold lines and I'm ready to staple the fabric. And not an inch to waste. Here are 6 pieces of fabric. Now when I picked up the seat cushions, I placed a small number on the bottom of the chair and on the bottom of the seat cushion. And when I remove the lining, I also transfer the same number to the bottom of the seat cushion. And in most cases, you will see remnants of plastic underneath your chair. That's because they were probably assembled when they were delivered to you, and the guys didn't bother to take the plastic off before they assembled the chairs. You can go ahead and get as much of that off as you possibly can. Now, some things that most people do not pay attention to. How to take care of this fabric. It says dry cleaning recommended, and the word up tells you the direction in which the fabric should flow. The people, the flowers, and the trees in this fabric are a good indication. Preparation is the key. Stapler, hammer, pliers, right here, ready to go. I begin by stapling the fabric to the front of the chair in the very center. And it's okay if you add up to about 5 staples there. And then you do the very same thing to the back of the chair. You're already starting to stretch the fabric this way. Now, I like to equally distribute the fabric while I am stapling it, and I personally find it best to add a few staples across the front and then add a few staples across the back. I don't go down one complete side because if the fabric is a little off, then I've got to go back and undo a lot of work. So maybe 5 or 6 across the front, maybe 5 or 6 across the back. And then I apply the stretching pliers to it, and then I continue to staple down a little bit. So I'm constantly spinning these cushions around just to make sure that everything is nice and even and that the fabric is straight. Now, if you're using neutral fabric, or shall I say solid colored fabric, you do not even have to think about this kind of stuff. I just don't want these little ladies and children and fish and birds to be crooked. Now, I can tell if I've got a really good stretch on the fabric by the way the cushion is filling in as I'm pulling the fabric for stapling. Now the sides of the chair are basically diagonal. Find the center of your fabric and pull it inward using the pliers and begin to staple it in the center. You may have to angle the pliers toward the back of the chair. That way you are certain that the design or the print is straight, and when you turn it over, everything will line up perfectly. Now you've stapled down to the corners and you're probably about a ½ inch or so away from those two corners meeting together. So now all you want to do is what I call the bunny ears. And those are very simple to do. You fold in your fabric at the corner and give it a little fold a little bit at the top, just so those pliers will have a really good grip on it. And then you staple that corner down. I added 2 staples to the center and then 2 on the outside. And if you notice, the staples actually meet up with the staples that I stapled down the sides of the chair. And once all 4 corners are done, trim away the excess fabric. I did use one of the original pieces of the dust cover as a template for cutting the new dust covers. Here is another great way to save money on your dust cover fabric: landscaping fabric. At the end of the summer, Dollar General has boxes of it left over, and they're going to sell it for $1.50 per roll. There is 4 times more fabric in these rolls than you would get in the normal dust cover fabric that you might purchase at your fabric store or even Walmart. Well, okay, let's load them up and make a delivery. Okay, and now it's time to install our newly covered cushions back into the chair. We kept all of our screws in a Ziploc bag so everything could be easily found, and we're good to go. Doesn't that look beautiful? Now, we want her to be the first one to see all 6 chairs at her table, so you're only going to see 2 of them. Now, I found this really unique chart here on Pinterest, and it gives you the yardage that you will need to cover a chair or sofa, but it also gives you a repeat percentage at the very top. That means how much more fabric you will have to add if you choose to work with a fabric that has a print or a design in it. Well, I hope that you will like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And remember to click the iCard on this video so you can see all of the furniture transformations that took place over the summer. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always, stay in prayer and stay creative.